Hello, boys and girls. My name is Madame Fortuna, and I am a gypsy fortune teller. Today, I will be telling you your future. Would you like that, boys and girls? I would too. So, here goes. I shall look deep, deep into the crystal ball. And what do I see here? I see a story in your future told by my friend Susie. So here she is, introducing Susie. Hi, everybody. Madame Fortuna was right, and I will be telling you a scary Halloween story. It's called Mr. Miacca. So, let me get my story ready, and maybe you'd like to grab a teddy bear or a big fluffy pillow, just in case it gets a little too scary. Okay, here it goes. It's called Mr. Miacca. Tommy Grimes was sometimes a good boy and sometimes a bad boy. And when he was a bad boy, he was a very bad boy. Now his mother used to say to him, Tommy, Tommy, be a good boy. And please, don't go where I can't see you or hear you, or else Mr. Miacca might get you. But still, when he was a bad boy, he would go out of his mom's sight and hearing. And one day, sure enough, he had scarcely got around the corner when Mr. Miacca did catch him and popped him into a bag upside down and took him off to his house. Well, when Mr. Miacca got Tommy inside, he pulled him out of the bag and set him down and felt his arms and his legs. You're rather tough, says he, but you're all I've got for supper, and you'll not taste bad boiled. But body o' me, I forgot the herbs, and it's better you'll taste without herbs. Sally, Sally, here I say, Sally. And he called for Mrs. Miacca. So Mrs. Miacca came out of another room and said, What do you want, my dear? Oh, here's a little boy for supper, said Mr. Miacca, and I forgot the herbs. Mind him, will ye, while I go for them. All right, my love, said Mrs. Miacca, and off he goes. Then Tommy Grimes said to Mrs. Miacca, does Mr. Miacca always have little boys for supper? Mostly, my dear, said Mrs. Miacca, if little boys are bad enough and to get in his way. And don't you have anything else but boy meat? No pudding? Asked Tommy. I loves pudding, said Mrs. Miacca, but it's not often the likes of me gets pudding. Why, my mother is making a pudding this very day, said Tommy Grimes, and I am sure she'd give you some if I ask her. Shall I run and get some? Now, that's a thoughtful boy, said Mrs. Miacca. Only don't be long and be sure to be back for supper. So off Tommy ran, and right glad he was off to get so cheap a ride home. And for many a long day he was as good can be, and he never went round the corner or the street. But he couldn't always be good. And one day he did go around the corner. And as luck would have it, he hadn't scarcely got round it when Mr. Miacca grabbed him, popped him in the bag, and took him home again. When he got there, Mr. Miacca dropped him out, and when he saw him, he said, "Ah, you're the youngster what served me and my missus that shabby trick, leaving us without any supper. Well, you shan't do it again, and I'll watch over you myself. Here, get under the sofa, and I'll sit on it and watch the pot boil for you." So poor Tommy Grimes had to creep under the sofa, and Mr. Miacca sat on it and waited for the pot to boil. And they waited, and they waited, but still the pot didn't boil, till at last Mr. Miacca got tired of waiting, and he said, "Here, you under there, I'm not going to wait any longer. Just put out your leg, and I'll stop you from giving us the slip." What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? So Tommy put out a leg, and Mr. Miacca got a chopper and chopped it off and pops it in the pot. Suddenly he calls out, "Sally! Sally, my dear! Sally!" And nobody answered, so he went into the next room to look out for Mrs. Miacca, and while he was there, Tommy crept out from under the sofa and ran out the door, for it was a leg of the sofa that he had put out. Pretty smart, huh? So Tommy Grimes ran home, and he never went round the corner again till he was old enough to go alone. A little bit scary. Yeah. The moral of that story is, if your mom asks you to stay in sight, stay where she can hear you, it's best. Or else, you never know, Mr. Miacca might get you.